with all of the different languages, etc., from people who are coming into the country, it will force the U.S. to do what we need to do anyway, which is change our entire educational system. It needs to be much more in depth. Every nationality's history needs to be taught. It's important for people to know who they are and where they came from, to understand even where you're going. And to repeat that part of history that we want to repeat, we need to know it. And not to repeat that which should not be repeated, that needs to be known. So the kids need to be taught that, as they are obviously, as we all live, grow old, and die, are going to be the ones that are running things. So they need to have that history. It needs to be taught and not suppressed. Like, people don't want the history of slavery. They don't want that because it's like, oh, that was a bad time, and we don't want to relive that. Well, you did it. It happened. So it's history. So it needs to be taught. So certain things should not be repeated. And a suppressing of people is suppressing of people. We need to stop doing that in the U.S. And that way we will flourish. Like, I believe in God we trust, on that dollar bill will work. And that's what a lot of this border stuff is all about. And trying to explain something to anyone at a level of only can see what's now, only want to see how I want to keep what's mine, I want to protect what's mine, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to even understand this. But believe me, there are powers, there's minds that will understand it. And there are many who hadn't thought about it, but they asked themselves the question, all the things will flash in their mind like flashes in mine that can be done to improve our country and create the jobs and utilize the resources that we have, and even the brain power that we have that other parts of the world apparently do not have, because that's why they're trying to get here, because they believe that we have a better system, and we do have a better system. But it's almost like we've gotten that system to a point where we just want this to stay, because we want to preserve the 10% and the 1% at the top, and the 10% or whatever it is at the bottom. We don't want to change that wheel. We got a perfect wheel running here, and we don't want to change that. Well, we're going to be forced to change it. We're going to be forced to change it. I do not believe Trump is going to get that wall. I do not believe it, because it is immoral. And to me, it is not something that God loves all of his people, and it's not something that he wants. It is to force us to do what we can do. And so many things I was trying to do as a woman and a black woman, I wasn't going to get that done. Even like when I approached Bezos at Amazon about the education system, you got to be in a room, and you got to have enough money and enough power where nobody is going to shoot you down, and nobody is going to go after the little 1 cent you have. And of course, that's not your regular person. And now it appears that you can't really depend upon a government to do it. So it's got to come from the power people. They have to see it, and they have to know that it can be done, and then it can be done. And I believe it will be done. This Trump administration is going to force a lot of good from others, and maybe that's why somebody like him had to be. And there are those who are thinking very shallow, and they're saying, well, we can't support the world. The U.S. can't support the world. Well, that is very true, but we can do a lot more. I need to research this, but someone said to me at one time that the entire size of Europe was about the size of Texas. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I need to check that out. But I do know the U.S. have more land, et cetera, and usable resources than most, and then many countries. Of course, not Africa, but that's another whole story. So at any rate, just wanted to get that in. There is a lot more that we can do.